Frame 2. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
The rocket has liftoff here in Belfast. 1-0 to Ronnie O'Sullivan. First to 4 to reach the last 16. Very busy day. He's taken 4 days to get to the last 32. By the end of the night, just 8 players will remain in this Northern Ireland Open. Of course, the corresponding day in Manchester at the English Open, it became Black Thursday for the seeds. A lot of big names tumbled, including O'Sullivan against Chris Wakelin. 2 rounds to be played. We shall see what happens over the course of the next few hours, but John Higgins already safely through. Of course, Mark Allen will be up in our 3rd TV match here against Robin Hull after this one.
Well, he's covered up that red on the right with the brown, which is, I'm sure, a great relief to Zhang. Hasn't seen a ball yet, as we've said. Absolutely nothing to go at. His pot success is 0 from 0. And even here, I'm not sure whether he can get past the green to go for the same red.
No, I think that's the point with Zhang is we'll gauge his chances in the match when he actually gets a chance to pot something, assuming that will happen at some point. But of course, the longer it takes, the more pressure he's under.
Not close, but of course he's cold, I would say. Not so much in temperature, just in lack of table time.
It was actually closer going in the middle than the intended pocket.
Well, if he's on the pink to the middle, it's a very good shot. There really wasn't much room there to manoeuvre. Interesting what John Higgins was saying after his match about the table. There's a few big bounces off cushions. I think not so much that. I found it interesting that he said that when you're not playing quite as well as you can, you notice it more. And I think it's because what happens then is you're not in complete control of the cue ball. So you're using the cushions more and more to regain position, and that's when you notice the odd inconsistent bounce or whatever.
Seven. Eighth. 15. 16. 23.
Well, he seems to be very relaxed today. Last night was a little bit of a tense affair with his great friend Jimmy White.
24.
He's come out and he's just looked really assured around the table in this frame and a bit we've seen. He's missed one pot so far, and that was at the end of the previous frame on the brown when he had a
31.
chance for a century, but in live play, he's not made a mistake of any kind.
32.
No, it was difficult playing Jimmy. It's hard to play someone who, in any other circumstance, you'd want to win. That's the point, really, we were saying about Higgins and Williams. You know, it's better in a way you're not friends or too good of friends with the players, because it's no room for sentiment out there. Remember Neil Robertson, he beat Joe Perry in the Wuxi Classic final 10-9 and was in floods of tears after because he denied Joe his first ranking title.
Well, it looked a good shot, a good split, but the Reds haven't really fallen very kindly. I don't know if he would risk that red up into the yellow pocket, the one that's above him now with awkward queuing. I'm sure he's looking to play a good safety shot and just to keep the pressure on, keep his opponent playing all his shots from the other end. I haven't seen Zhang play, even walk down to this end of the table yet.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 39.
Which is never a good sign.
No, O'Sullivan all season has played really disciplined snooker. It's funny, he keeps saying he's trying to play himself into form. A lot of people would be very happy with this form, but of course he has exceptional standards. Let's not forget, though, he's been in 2 finals, came within a frame of winning European Masters, was runner-up last week to John Higgins in Coventry, champion of champions.
We were right down the line of that. It was lovely queuing. It only just crept in, but played it well. Interesting the way he sights there. He actually doesn't favour one of his eyes. He's right down the middle, which is quite rare for a snooker player, not to just favour left or right eye. Now that Steve Davis was someone who cued straight down the middle, not like most other players. Anyway, this shot is even more difficult than the red. The pressure's on. If he misses this, he does potentially more damage. Fine shot. Well, if you're not going to give him a chance, and when he came to the table he didn't have one, you've got to make your own chances, clearly.
Yes, I remember Zhang Anda, first time he qualified for the Crucible, beat Ricky Walden in the final qualifying round, and he finished off with 2 centuries under intense pressure at the English Institute of Sport in Sheffield. Just fantastic. This is a slightly different scenario on TV, but even so, he's a dangerous young player, I think.
He's unlucky there to have not got any further with that break. Yes, that was the year I was speaking about, wasn't it, where he played Stephen Hendry and took him close, which proved how good he was, and he's not quite gone on from there.
Beat Judd Trump, though, this season at the World Open in China. Wouldn't be regarded as one of the very leading Chinese players, but as I say, he is dangerous. He's had results.
That's a good safety shot. I think the problem is that you've got a lot of Chinese players coming through, and you're looking for the next Ding Junhui or the next world champion to come from China, or the first, of course, in that case. But it doesn't mean that you can't be very good, earn a living, because we're searching, for the next superstar. You can't all be superstars. Some very decent players from China who are doing well out of the tour. Another good shot to start a break.
Well, in the previous round, he beat Chris Wakelin, who, of course, beat O'Sullivan at the English Open.
4.
He's currently 84th
5.
in the world, so he's trying to haul himself up into the top 64 by the end of the season and thus stay on the circuit. There are a couple of other ways you can stay on, but that's the main one. It should be said, though, that Ronnie O'Sullivan in the really provisional rankings is actually outside the top 16. That's taking off
11.
all sorts of points. But just bear in mind, with the World Championship, of course, at the end of the season, it's only the top 16 guaranteed at the Crucible. Oh dear. Well, after some good pots,
Zhang under,
he's
11.
missed that one.
Yeah, for no obvious reason. Just maybe thinking about getting the cue ball through the gap between the other red and the pink. Took his eye off the pot, perhaps. Yes, I think, you know, I'm sure that Ronnie's got it in his mind that he might lose his place in the top 16. It wouldn't be on merit. It would be because he's not played in all the tournaments. I think if he plays in enough tournaments, he'll find his way back in there all right on those provisional rankings. He won't have to qualify. But of course, it happened to Ding last year, or last season at the Crucible. So it can happen to anybody.
9.
That was a struggle, that red.
That's the thing with the ranking system. For those of you who don't know, it's a 2-year rolling
15.
system, so points come off. 2 years ago, Ronnie won the UK Championship, so those points come off. He's trying to compensate by putting more on again.
16.
All done through prize money.
So 43 the difference. Needs 2 reds from here.
23.
Any colour with this wouldn't be enough.
.24.
He's probably got his mind on that red up the table to the right middle. If he gets in behind it, it's not a bad shot. And he's gone a different way. He very rarely gets things wrong. That's beautiful. That's even better than playing on the loose red
31.
to get on that one. Wonderful cannon. And already
32.
he looks sharp.
Well, we've barely been going 24 minutes. Zhang did have a chance in this frame. Didn't get one in the first, but was in this frame. Missed the red to the pocket
37.
bottom right of your screen. And it was a big mistake. O'Sullivan looks very sharp. It's a different environment to
38.
last night when it was pretty tense against his great friend Jimmy White. This is another day, another match, but an excellent performance so far from Ronnie O'Sullivan.
42.
Doesn't matter about that, he's done the damage.
20,042.
Zhang
And the
Ander in
second
frame 2 did have a chance, but ultimately it's gone the same way as the first did. And Ronnie O'Sullivan already halfway to victory.